He came home to surprise his son at kindergarten, only to see a boy who looked exactly like him, standing with a different family. What began as a joyful reunion turned into a mystery no parent ever expects. Who was this boy who looked exactly like his son but not someone he knew? Listen to today's story until the end to find out, and please let us know where you're listening from. Please also subscribe to our channel. The train rocked gently as it sped through the snowy plains of North Dakota. David Collier sat by the window, staring blankly at the white expanse outside. Oil rigs stood like frozen metal beasts on the horizon. After 3 months working grueling shifts in the Willow Creek oil fields, he was finally going home. He clutched a small box wrapped in plain paper, his son Noah's 4th birthday gift. A plastic firefighter helmet. Cheap, but the best he could afford. His fingers trembled with exhaustion, but his heart held one emotion: anticipation. He was going to surprise his boy at kindergarten before heading home to see his wife, Rachel. David stepped into the sunny but brisk schoolyard of Lincoln Elementary. He scanned the children running and laughing, looking for Noah's mop of brown curls. Then he froze. A boy stood at the far end of the playground, and David's heart nearly stopped. He wasn't just similar, he was a mirror image of his son. Same soft brown curls that bounced as he moved, same bright eyes full of mischief and wonder, the same tiny dimple on his left cheek, even the small scar above the right eyebrow. The resemblance was so perfect it was chilling. David stared, his mouth slightly open, unable to process what he was seeing. The name tag on the boy's coat read, Eli Turner, but he might as well have been looking at Noah. His legs felt weak, and a cold shiver ran down his spine as questions he never imagined began racing through his mind. David blinked. Was he imagining things? He rushed inside to find Noah. When he saw him in his classroom, happily finger painting, it was like seeing double. David stumbled out, heart racing. At home that night, David gently confronted Rachel. "Does Noah have a twin?" She went pale. Rachel broke down, her shoulders trembling as tears welled up in her eyes. 4 years ago, during childbirth at St. Luke's Regional Medical Center, everything had unraveled in a matter of minutes. She had hemorrhaged badly. Doctors and nurses surrounded her, rushing to stabilize her vitals. In the chaos, she caught only a brief glimpse of the newborn baby swaddled in a blanket. She spent days in recovery, drifting in and out of consciousness. It was during one of those long nights that she overheard 2 nurses whispering outside her door. Something about a possible mix-up in the maternity ward, a switch. Rachel strained to hear more, but their voices dropped. She was too weak, too scared. And deep down she made a decision she never thought she would make, to trust what she was given and move forward. "I thought I was dying, David," she whispered. "I didn't want you to lose everything. I convinced myself the baby they gave me was ours. And then, I just tried to forget." David couldn't sleep for days. He began watching the Turner family from his truck, parked near their suburban home. Eli's parents, Matthew and Lisa Turner, looked kind, wealthy, loving. David felt like a criminal peering through their windows, but he had to know. He researched birth records late into the night, poring over hospital archives, county registries, and adoption filings. Then he found it. The Turners had adopted a baby boy from St. Luke's on the same day Rachel had given birth. The record was clean, clinical, and missing something crucial. There was no mention of twins, not a hint. Nothing to suggest 2 lives had entered the world instead of 1. David sat back, heart pounding. But the resemblance was too strong to dismiss. He even compared baby photos of Noah with recent ones of Eli, side by side on his computer screen, zooming in to find differences. There were none. With trembling hands, he ordered a DNA test kit online and arranged for discrete samples. He needed answers, real answers. And soon he would get them. The results shattered everything. Noah and Eli were identical twins. Somewhere between the delivery room and nursery, someone at the hospital had separated them. One was handed to Rachel, the other to an unsuspecting adoptive family. Rachel had given birth to twins, and there was never a switch. Rather, a twin had been put up for adoption. David confronted the Turners. He asked if they had ever wondered about his background. At first they were in disbelief, their expressions flickering between confusion and concern. Lisa grew defensive, asking who he was and why he was making such outrageous suggestions. But when David pulled out the folder, thick with paperwork and DNA results, the conversation turned. He handed it over, and they slowly read through the documents. Silence fell across the room. Their faces crumbled under the weight of the truth. Matthew looked at David, stunned. Lisa whispered in disbelief. We never imagined. We had no idea. Their world, like David's, had just split open. Lisa whispered, we never knew he had parents. Not really. We were told he had been abandoned at birth, that his biological family couldn't care for him. He was placed in our arms as a newborn, and we loved him from that very moment. The legal system got involved, launching a brief but tense investigation into the circumstances surrounding the adoption and the hospital's failure to disclose the existence of twins. Lawyers representing both families filed motions to access confidential hospital records, and the state health board began an internal review of the hospital's maternity practices. There was even talk of negligence lawsuits and possible revocation of the hospital's license if wrongdoing was proven. Despite the emotional toll and the legal complexity, David and Rachel, along with Matthew and Lisa Turner, remained steadfast in their shared priority, the well-being of the boys. But despite the whirlwind of legal terms and courtroom possibilities, both families agreed on one thing: there would be no custody battle. Instead, they chose grace, a mutual understanding that love, not law, would guide their next steps. It was a quiet, powerful decision that put the children first and opened the door to something much bigger than blame. Noah and Eli were slowly introduced to each other, first through playdates, then weekends. The boys instantly clicked as if their souls remembered. Lisa apologized to Rachel through tears. I didn't mean to steal your child. I just wanted to give him a life I thought he wouldn't have. Rachel held her hand. You didn't steal him. The system failed us all. It failed him too. It failed both boys, separating them before they had a chance to even know one another. It left one mother believing she might have been raising someone else's son, and another building her world on a story that was never truly complete. But none of that was your doing. You loved him, and that love matters. In the end, love is what brought us together, not apart. On their 5th birthday, both families threw one party, a celebration that felt more like a reunion of hearts than just a birthday gathering. The backyard was filled with balloons, colorful streamers, and the smell of grilled burgers. Friends, relatives, and even neighbors came together, mingling as if they'd known each other forever. For the boys, it was just a day of joy. For the parents, it was healing in real time. David stood beside Matthew Turner as the boys blew out candles together on a large cake that read, Happy Birthday, Noah and Eli. He whispered, I still can't believe we didn't know. It's like we missed 5 years we'll never get back. Matthew nodded, eyes misty. But now we do, and now they do too. And maybe that's what matters most. As laughter filled the air and Noah and Eli chased each other through the yard, the past didn't disappear, but the future was theirs to build. Some stories aren't about good guys or bad guys. They're about choices, mistakes, and what we do when the truth finally knocks. If you found out the child you've raised for years had a twin you never knew about, what would you do? Would you fight for answers? Or try to protect the life you've already built? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, family isn't always about blood. Sometimes it's about the courage to do what's right.